from the Psalms alluding to the temple, which it calls, surprisingly, the Mishkanei Elyon, the sanctuaries of the Supreme God. The plural is very unusual, and the explanation of our Chazal about the meaning of calling David HaMelech referring to Mishkanei Elyon is that the earthly Mishkan, the earthly sanctuary, the dwelling place of God, is actually exactly aligned to the heavenly Mishkan. There is a spiritual temple, which is the place for the worship of the one God, of the celestial angels, and the earthly Mishkan, or Mikdash, is precisely aligned in all of its measurements, all of its courtyards, and all of its services to the supreme Mishkanei Elyon, the heavenly sanctuary. This is also alluded to in the verse in the Song of the Sea, where we say, Mikdash Hashem Konenu Yodecho, where the Chazal darshan that the word Konenu, the sanctuary Hashem that your hands have established, the word Konenu has the connotation of kavanah. Kavanah literally means when you aim or align something, one thing to another, and this is another of the remazim, another of the hints that the earthly temple is aligned precisely to the heavenly temple. And so, in fact, what Romchal is doing in this book, when he's talking about the vision of the temple as it will be in Yerushalayim at the end of days, he's at exactly the same time talking about the heavenly temple. And the Tikkun Ezra say that Tziyura de Mishkana, Tziyura de Maaseh Bereshis, the form of the Mishkan that Moses made in the wilderness and the form of the temple is precisely aligned to Maaseh Bereshis, to the creation of all of the worlds. What this means is that the temple form is actually the expression of all of the concepts that we learn in Kabbalah, in Eitz Chaim, about the creation of the world. The temple is actually a map of all of the worlds. I mentioned to you the areas of the temple building, the inner and outer courtyards, and the Temple Mount. Well, here you have 4 areas. The Temple Mount is Olam Ha'asiyah. The outer courtyard is Olam Yetzirah. The inner courtyard is Olam Beriah, and the temple itself is Olam Ha'atzilus. So when Romchal is explaining to us the form of the temple, he's giving us an abridged introduction to the whole Kabbalistic system. And he's giving us the deepest insights into the Kabbalah, what you don't get out of Kabbalah 101, which is how it is that all of the names of Hashem, all of the divine names in the Torah, are actually not just names and letters, but creative powers that have the power to bring realities into existence. And here we have a very essential concept in Mishkanei Elyon, which I'd like to explain now.
Rabbi, stop in about 2 minutes.
But if we're going to stop in 2 minutes, then I'm going to start this explanation afterwards, because it'll take more than 2 minutes. But what I'm going to explain basically is what we will call sacred geometry. We all know the concept of gematria. When rabbis get up in some Purim or some other occasion, say, well, you know that this word has this mathematical value and that word has that, and that shows that they're related, and sometimes the gematrias are good, sometimes they're awful, but the word gematria actually is related to our word geometry. Because gematria is not just playing with numbers, it is numbers applied to create 3-dimensional space. And that's the real gematria. That is the gematria that Romchal employs in the Mishkanei Elyon, in this work, to explain to us how it is that the divine names of the Torah, which express different aspects of Elokus as it's revealed to the world, combine and join and create physical space. And thus physical space becomes a perfect expression of Elokus. And with that thought about the idea of sacred geometry, we will pause here and turn our hearts to Yerushalayim, to the Beit HaMikdash, and to go into the house of prayer.